Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Marwa Abdulhai. On behalf of Muslim Girl, it is my honor to be interviewing Maryam Masood Lam today. Maryam is a 5th grader at Al Noor Academy, and mashallah, she is a hafiza of the Quran. Maryam has taken part in many international and national Quran competitions and is the host of the program Quran with Maryam as part of Guide Us TV and ITV USA. Maryam takes part in many humanitarian organizations and has over 200k subscribers on YouTube and Facebook. Salam Maryam.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
How are you?
Good, alhamdulillah. How are you?
Good, alhamdulillah.
So it's really interesting how last year I interviewed you and this year you're interviewing me, and inshallah next year we could do something else together.
Inshallah, it is a great honor for me to be interviewing you.
I'm really glad to be here with you too.
Me too. Alright, so I have a couple of questions for you. I'll tell people about your journey. So first off, who was responsible for inculcating the motivation for you to memorize the Quran?
Well, I always want to start off by thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for giving me the courage and memory to memorize the Quran. But of course, my parents were the ones who inspired me to memorize the Quran. And since I didn't attend any particular hifz school, my mom worked really hard with me during my memorization. And also, in preparation to teach me, my mom took a few tajweed classes.
MashaAllah.
So she could teach me.
Wow, so what were some of the techniques that she used in order to motivate you to memorize the Quran?
My mother used lots of fun techniques, when it was hard for me and I wanted to give up, and my mom she would say, let's have a race. Whoever can memorize this page first, then they win. So we would race and we would see who could memorize the page first.
Wow.
Also a few other techniques, for example, when I was little and I was playing around and my mom would do her household works. She would recite a small surah from Juz Amma, and I wouldn't even know it, but I would start reading with her. And then in the car when I go to school, I put the surah that I would memorize or review that day, so that when I come home it would be much easier for me to memorize or review.
Wow, these are very creative techniques. I don't think I would ever be able to come up with them.
Thank you.
Wow, can you describe some of the rigor and difficulties of memorizing the Quran? Was it very tough? And could you share some of that with everyone who wants to?
Sure. So the Quran consists of many surahs. Some are very easy to memorize while others are tough. So it would be better if we start off with the easy surahs, like the Juz Amma surahs, and then we could move on to harder surahs, but relative, not too big.
Okay.
So for example, Surah Al-Kahf.
All right.
For me, the surahs that have the same ayahs repeated many times, like Surah Al-Mursalat or Surah Al-Rahman, were a little bit difficult to memorize. And my most difficult surah to memorize would probably be Surah Nur or Surah An-Nisa. But now, since I reviewed them, they got much easier.
Oh, that's good.
And also, big ayahs were also kind of hard to memorize. So when I came across these ayahs, I would break them into parts and then I would memorize them separately.
And obviously the creative techniques. So it's very interesting to see that you're very involved in Quran with Maryam and Guide Us TV and many humanitarian organizations. So how do you find the time to balance that with schoolwork? Is that difficult, or how do you find it?
Well, I'm probably not as busy as you are, and my TV is a great place to be in. But it is true that I do Quran with Maryam on Guide Us TV and ITV USA. Sometimes I have a lot of homework and projects, but I try to manage everything. When I come home from school, right after that I start my homework, and then after I'm done I take some rest, and then after I pray Maghrib, then I start reading my Quran. And the key here is consistency and efficiency, so that it helps you to manage everything you're doing.
I think this is great advice for me too, to balance my college life. So very good advice. So just a question, I think it's very important for girls to be memorizing the Quran, but sometimes you see that not many girls have memorized the Quran, and they think that it's kind of like it's a man's job, it's a boy's job. Why do you think it's important for especially girls to be memorizing the Quran?
Indeed, this is a great question. My observation is that there are not as many girls memorizing the Quran in today's world.
Right.
However, in the past, we know of many female Islamic scholars, like during the Prophet's time or centuries after that. And for example, Aisha radiallahu anha, we heard of many authentic and significant hadiths from her.
Right.
And Khadija radiallahu anha, who was the first female to accept Islam and during the Prophet's time and believe in Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And also Rabia al-Basri radiallahu anha. We want more female hafizats and scholars, Islamic scholars. So it is important for Muslim girls to memorize the Quran, understand the Quran, and implement the teachings of the Quran in their life. And because sisters have a significant share of building a great generation.
Of course. You've basically, this challenge of memorizing the Quran, you've accomplished it, but what other challenges do you see for yourself, and what other things are you working on? What would you recommend other, hafiz of the Quran to be working on?
Memorizing the Quran is just the first step. We need to understand the Quran, and in order to do that, we need to learn Arabic. So since I want to learn Arabic, I am using Bayyina TV, and there is a show called Arabic with Husna, and that helps me a lot to learn Arabic. And before I started using Bayyina TV, I took Arabic 101 with our beloved brother Asif Hirani. So these are some of the resources I'm using to learn Arabic. So I would suggest the same for my brothers and sisters.
MashaAllah. So Maryam, I know that you're only in elementary school, but I'm going to ask you this question anyway. So what do you want to be when you grow up? What's your life goal, per se?
I have two goals. One is for the hereafter, of course, and one is for this world. For the hereafter, I want to be an Islamic scholar to motivate the younger children to memorize and understand the Quran and to understand the true beauty and peace of our religion, Islam. And before I tell you my goal for this life, let me tell you something.
Okay.
I grew up seeing my father do many interesting stuff with technology.
Okay.
For example, every year he attends Google I/O, which is the developers conference. And he brings back many cool ideas, and sometimes he involves us to implement those. So I have a passion now for computer science and technology. And if Allah wills, then I want to seek my career in this field. And I know that you are going to be an engineer, so inshallah when I grow up, we can work together.
Yeah, inshallah. And you could possibly also come to MIT, inshallah. So Maryam, you're probably very busy, so just going to ask anyway, what do you do in your free time, and what do you enjoy doing?
I have free time, and in my free time, I like to play with my baby sister. Sometimes I go, if it's good weather, then I go outside and I ride my bike, and then I take my baby sister outside with me, and she has this little car. She rides it around our driveway, and we play outside. And then me and my older sister, we sometimes play badminton in our driveway. So in my free time, I play outside, or I play with my baby sister, and also sometimes I play on my tablet. I play video games.
Yeah, I hope it's not more time on the tablet and less time outside. I'm not going to ask the question, but I hope so. So tell me a little bit about your family. Tell me about your sisters and your parents.
My older sister, her name is Maasha, and she is going to be a senior in high school next year, inshallah.
Inshallah.
And my younger sister, her name is Fatima, and she is 2 years old. She memorized a few surahs. She started.
Wow.
She did Surah Al-Fatiha, Surah Al-Lahab, Surah Al-Ikhlas, and Surah, that's pretty much, and a few ayahs from Surah Al-Yasin. So she is beginning.
Wow.
And then...
How old is she again?
She's 2.
2 and a couple of surahs, mashallah. Wow. So what is your favorite surah, and why? you know all the surahs, so which one resonates the most with you?
My favorite surah would probably be Surah Al-Yusuf because it has the best of it is the best of stories in the Quran. It has the story of Prophet Yusuf, and also it's more clear to me. I can understand it better because I watched Yusuf series. It's like it's a really good show. It's like a series of this life. It's the story of the life of Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam, and it's like really good. Like I watched it so many times, and I want to watch it again.
Wow. Okay, I have to watch. I don't think I've watched it.
You should watch it. You should definitely watch it.
I will, inshallah. Now, Maryam, I know you talked a lot about balancing the deen and dunya, but really, how do you think Muslims should be looking at these two aspects of their lives and at least trying to find an equal balance between the two?
This is surely an excellent question. When I was reading the meaning of the Quran, I came across some beautiful ayahs from Surah Al-Layl. So let me recite those ayahs.
Yeah, please.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم فأما من أعطى واتقى وصدق بالحسنى فسنيسره لليسرى وأما من بخل واستغنى وكذب بالحسنى فسنيسره للعسرى وما يغني عنه ماله إذا تردى.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. Your recitation is beautiful.
Jazakallah. So these ayahs, they talk about that whoever wants this world, Allah will make it easy for them. And whoever wants the hereafter, Allah will make it easy for them as well. But we have to notice the difference between the two groups of people. In the end, it is the second group of people who will be the ultimate winners, and the first group of people will be the losers because they were working for this world and not the hereafter.
Wow, that is a very intricate analysis. Wow, mashallah, mashallah. That is beautiful. That is a beautiful insight, Maryam. I mean, I cannot begin to describe how taken aback I am by your responses and your journey, and I'm sure that many of the viewers and the young Muslim girls and women who are watching will be very inspired by your story and hope to, integrate many of the things that you talked about in their lives, inshallah.
Inshallah. And you are very great too because you are very busy with your college because you're in MIT, but you also find time to do humanitarian activities. You are working with IMRC, with the orphan children of India, and lots of other humanitarian activities, and you inspire me a lot.
I don't know about that, but I mean, may inshallah, when you're just a little older, even now, may we both work together and try to, for the betterment of humanity, work together, and for the sake of Allah, work together to help the lesser underprivileged Muslims across the globe, and use our privilege to help them, inshallah.
Ameen.
So thank you everyone for watching. If you would like to learn more about Maryam and her work, you can Google her on Facebook or YouTube, Maryam Masood, and inshallah find out more about the wonderful work she's doing. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.